Good morning everybody, this is Kev again. We're just doing an updated video on camera settings and flash settings today. These are my own personal settings I've been using for the last 8 years or so. I'm quite happy with what I use and what I'm doing, but feel free to experiment. Okay, what I'm going to show you now folks is my settings on the back of my camera. I'll run through all the settings and then show you exactly what I use. As I said, you can choose your own settings there, but this is what I'm going to start with. I'll show you mine. On the back of my camera, you can see that I have set manual, and I'm on C1. I've got all my settings saved as a custom menu in C1. You go down to the next one and you'll see single. I've got the small focus point set up in my camera, the smallest focal point I can get, and I use that one, and I change the position of it as needed. As we go down a bit further, you can see I use SAF, autofocus, so I use that all the time. I press the shutter button to keep continually ranging in on my subject until I get the composition right, and then I follow through with the shot. Next one down, single shot. Always use single shot, preferably to others. The next one over there is also spot focus. So I use single shot and spot focus, and those are basically the main ones. I turn my face recognition off, and I have got my white balance set at 5300 Kelvin, which suits me pretty well. You can see that my shutter speed is 1/250th, and my aperture is f11, and the ISO is 200, which is base ISO for the Olympus camera. If you're using Canon or Nikon, I believe their base ISO is 100, so you'd probably set it on 100. Down the bottom, we go across to all my photos I take are in RAW. I don't worry about JPEG at all. I do all that when I do my editing. I edit my photos and then save them as a JPEG at the end. The other one there is SIS Auto. That's full auto. It used to be 5 stops, but it's now closer to about 7 stops with this camera, with the OM1 Mark II, which makes it very easy to take a handheld shot these days. Okay, the reason I use f11 for my aperture, it seems to be the sweet spot with the Olympus cameras. I can go to f16. I wouldn't go any further because of diffraction, and I don't go any lower than f8. I don't really need f8. Anything lower than f8, your depth of field is going to suffer. These settings I find, because I'm getting reasonably close up to the subject, I will get a black background. And the black background, some people like, other people dislike it. They like to have something in the background. You can always use a background card that you can hold in one hand and put behind the subject, and you can have a background like that. Or you can lower your shutter speed and get a little bit more of the background in. Your background's only illuminated by the flash, so if you're getting really close, then you're going to get black background because there's nothing there for the flash to reflect off. And if the subject is isolated, if it's isolated away from the background, then the background's going to be black. We're going to talk about the Meiki MK320 flash now, guys. This is my personal flash, the one that I use myself pretty much all the time. I have done since 2017. It's been a fabulous little flash. It doesn't do stacking or bracketing. The recharge rate is not fast enough for that, but it's a nice powerful little flash which you can use at 1/16th power pretty much all the time. Occasionally you have to go to 1/8, but very rarely. You can adjust it with 1/3 stop increments either way of the 1/16, whatever you like. The good part is, if you use any loop rechargeables, there's a recharging port there on the side of the flash, and on the later models it's USB-C, on the earlier models it's micro USB, and you can just, any loop rechargeable batteries, just plug it in, charge it when you're finished. Don't even have to take the batteries out until they actually die. Now let's talk about some settings. Okay, we turn the flash on, and you'll see that it's set on TTL. All we need to do there is just turn it onto manual using the mode switch, not flash switch. So we turn it on to manual, and you'll see it's already set on 1/16 power. If you want to change that, all you need to do is just press set in the centre at the bottom, and if you go with the right button, it will go in 1/3 increments up to 1/8 or 1/4, depending on how far you want to go, or the left hand button will take it down to 1/8, down to 1/16, down to 1/32, and right down to 1/128 if you so desire. It also has a little feature, like by pressing the on-off button, you turn on a modelling light, but the modelling light only lasts one shot. And once you've taken the shot, you have to press the button again to re-energise it. Okay, the other flash that I use, guys, if I want to do stacking or bracketing with my 90mm macro lens on the OM1 Mark II, is the Godox V480. It's quite a good little flash. It certainly keeps up with the power. The battery is a lithium battery. The battery itself is rechargeable. If you have a chance to use one of these, you'll find how simple it is to use. I'll show you how to do some setups on it. Okay, all we do there is just turn the power on. You have to go into it. Yeah, just run around the ring with your finger, and you can see it's already set up there to manual, and it's set on 14mm. We can change any of that by just pressing the button in the centre, and we can go with the dial on the outside. We'll come down, set that for manual, and then we can go over there and set that to whatever we need to set that for. 25mm, 35mm, and that's pretty good. And we just changed that to make that back to manual. You can change that to TTL if you wish, but I don't normally bother with TTL. I usually use manual all the time. And another point that you can do with this, it's a touch screen, so all you do to change the aperture is the shutter speed, the flash speed I should say, is just run your finger across the back. Another good thing about it too, if you press the button twice in rapid succession, there's also a modelling light. Now when it's turned on, it's reasonably bright, but it also is very bright. If you would like to see that there, that's how bright it is when it's normal, and then when you can make it really bright or anywhere in between just by scrolling through on that little button at the back. And then one more press and it takes you back into the normal menu, where you can just scroll across and set your flash power. And apart from that, it works very well. It syncs very well. If you're using the flash for in-camera focus stacking like you get with the Olympus cameras, you can take up to 15 shots, and it will take those at with no break in between. It's pretty good. Okay, let's talk about the Olympus FL-LM3 flash. What a fabulous little flash. People underrate it very much and never give it a second thought. But I've used it for macro and it's done a very bloody good job, I might add. I designed a little diffuser for it. As you can see, it's only a small fella. I've provided a little focusing light as well, just a touch turn on one. It provides a heap of light, which is quite good for focus if you have trouble getting focus. Well, let's talk about how we set it all up now. To set the flash up, you have to turn it on, of course. And once you've turned it on, you go into the super control panel and you go on the back to the flash, where you see I've got it set there to manual, and you press on that and that takes you down to the menu. So if you scroll right across to manual value, you have to press the info button to get to where we are there. And once you've set the press the info button, you can then change all your flash power all the way back to my recommended setting, which is 1/4 power. At 1/4 power provides quite a nice little bit of light for this little diffuser, and the shots just turn out really awesome. But that's how to set up your flash for macro. Normally it's set on that setting there, which is fill in. So don't use that. Go right across to manual and then press the info, and then you can change all your settings from there. It's entirely up to you. 1/4 power suits me perfectly for this little diffuser. You may want to change it to something different. Yeah, this time we're going to be talking about my biggest creation, is the KR Tele Macro Diffuser. I use this to take photos of bees in flight and dragonflies in flight. It's designed so that the light projects up to 2 meters in front of the camera. Using the 300mm f4 lens on this, I can use a 50-200 as well, do the same sort of job. But I need a very powerful flash to get this to do what I've designed it to do. So I've used the Godox V860 Mark III. I use it on full power, 1:1, full power, and I also have to change the settings on the camera to, on the flash and everything, to high-speed sync, so that I can set the shutter speed at 1/400 in order to capture the insects in flight. It's much better to have a higher shutter speed than 1/250th of a second. I still use f11 and I still use base ISO. I usually put it on auto ISO, so if there is a problem with the lighting, I'll get the right right adjustment anyway. So let's talk about how to set the flash and camera up together. Okay, let's set up the V860 flash now for using with the Tele Macro. First off, let's turn it on. You'll see that I have got it on manual, and I've set the focal length there to 105mm, and I've turned on high-speed sync. Now, to turn on high-speed sync on this particular flash, it's just this button up here. Just press it, and there it is there. It shows that it's turned on. You'll see I've got it set to 1:1. You can, that's so you get full power. That's ideal for setting there. You change that just by scrolling the wheel around. But 1:1 is where you should have it set. There's nothing else really that you have to worry about there. As long as it's on manual at 1:1 and high-speed sync is enabled. That's about all you need to do. Well, that's all the settings, guys. That's all my personal settings. You feel free to experiment, do whatever you like with the settings yourself. You'll probably end up coming back to what I've explained to you anyway. That's been 9 years that I've been doing this now with the Olympus gear, and I've found that they're the perfect settings for me. Entirely up to you. If you want to experiment, go for it, but you'll come back, I guarantee it. Thanks guys, catch you later.